Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are all doing so well. In today's video, I have another story time video to share with y'all. In my last story time video, I did mention the fact that I had another story time to tell you guys about my first party. Since it didn't win in my last poll, I figured I would just do it in this video now, just to get it out of the way and kind of fill y'all in on, what went down in high school, because I was crazy. Anyway, this video is going to be all about my first party. Now, when I say my first party, I'm not talking about, little Kimmy's birthday party in middle school. I'm talking about my first banger, like my first party, like party. I don't know why I was even partying. I was about 14 or 15. In high school, I think I was 14 going on 15. Like, why was I trying to party at 14 years old? Like, no. I don't need to be doing that at all. Let's get into this. Okay, so like I said, I was about 14 going on 15. I was a freshman in high school, and I was hanging out with the same crowd from my first time smoking weed story time. And if you have not seen that video, I will link that up in the cards, and I will also have it linked in the description box below if you're interested in watching that. So yeah, I was hanging out with the same people from that story time, my crazy ass older friends that were like doing all that fast shit that I should not have been doing. I was hanging out with those same people, and I was also hanging out with my best friend from that story time, Jam. Now, me and Jam were kind of, hanging out with different kinds of crowds, hanging out with different kinds of people, which, I already covered that. I was hanging out with older kids because, when you're in high school, you hang out with different people. So I was hanging out with older kids. And I did have a friend in that crowd that I actually did consider my friend. She was a really nice girl. She wasn't kind of like rude and a bitch like some of the other people were. She was a really nice girl, and I'm not gonna say her name. Let's call her Penelope. Now, Penelope was turning, I think, 18. I think it was 18. Yeah, I think Penelope was turning 18 years old, and she was having a party at her place for, her birthday party. And of course, me and Jam were invited because we were her friends. We were hanging out with her a lot lately, and she actually got a like to us. Like, she started to like us. So she invited us to this party along with all of her other friends, which we were also hanging out with. I guess her mother owned like a business, and in the back of the business, or behind her house, she had like a party area that people could rent out and have parties there. But since it was her house and stuff, she had her party there, and it was a really nice space. It was a big space, and it had like lantern lights, and it had a public restroom, and it had chairs, and they had a fire pit, and it was a really pretty like place to have a party, and it was a nice setting. It was a chill, calm setting. So Penelope had her party at her house in her backyard area where they rented out, I guess, and we were invited, and me and Jam were kind of excited because it was, like I said, our first party. We had never been to any like banger parties like this, like drinking parties, so we were super excited to go to this party. And because we really liked Penelope as a friend, we were even more excited. So we got invited to this party, okay, and people were supposed to bring their own liquor because obviously everyone there was underage. None of them could just have liquor openly, so we had to sneak it all in. Everybody snuck in their liquor, parked in the back, brought their liquor. It was hidden throughout the party as well because her mom did not want her to be doing that. So we had to sneak it. It was hidden throughout the party, and it was just a good ass time. Everyone brought beer, they brought liquor, they had a pong table hidden behind some trees, which was very fucking strategic if you ask me. That was a really good idea. They had it hidden in the backyard, like behind some bushes and trees, and they had the pong table back there. People were playing beer pong, people were sitting around the fire pit. There was like a little garage area, people were in there as well, and people were just all over the place. Like, there were so many fucking people at this party. Like, I'm not even kidding. There were like maybe 60 people at this party, and that's a lot. That's a lot of people, especially for me. I mean, in my opinion, that's a lot of people. So there were so many fucking people at this party, and me and Jam were hanging out with this guy, and he was actually a pretty nice guy as well, and we'll just call him Bob. We were hanging out with Bob basically during the majority of this party, and his friend, which I don't even remember her name. I'm not going to really give her a name because she's kind of irrelevant. She's not going to be in any of my future story times. We were hanging out with Bob and his friend. mostly through the majority of the party. I was drinking. I was throwing them back, bitch. Like, I was drinking like I had been drinking my whole life. And mind you, this is probably like my first time drinking ever. So I was definitely doing the most when I should not have been. I was drinking so much. I was drinking beer. I was drinking liquor. I was just throwing them back, bitch. Like, I was throwing them back. Like, I've been drinking my whole life. And I was super fucking wasted. Like, super fucking wasted. And Jam was kind of upset at the fact, because like I said in my last story time, she used to get super mad at me just like partying and acting crazy, and she would always be like my kind of guardian angel in these situations, because she would always stay sober or close to sober so she could watch out for me, because I was fucking nuts. So Jam was getting upset because I was drinking a lot. I was acting so fucking crazy. And I was like singing and I was like doing all this crazy shit. I kissed Bob on his mouth, and I'm not sure if Bob was gay. I'm not sure if Bob is gay. I thought he was back in the day, but I'm not sure if he was gay. But I did kiss him on his mouth, so I guess. Also, the cops got called, I believe. Someone called the cops because of the noise. It was super loud. Like I said, there was like 60 fucking people there. Everyone was drinking. Everyone was crazy. So the cops did get called. And I believe they did come to the house. They knocked on the door. So everyone fucking fled to those public restrooms. Like, I'm not even kidding. Most of the people that were there were in that fucking restroom. And I think it was only one restroom. I'm not sure, I don't remember. But everyone was in that fucking restroom. And I remember being in there, and it was just so fucking crowded. People were standing on the toilets. People were in, there were like 5 people in one stall at a time. Then people were just flooded everywhere, like by the sinks and shit. And they did end up leaving. The cops did end up leaving, and we just kind of went back to partying. And I don't think they ever came back after that. I'm not sure. I don't believe that they did. So that was kind of like a false alarm, sort of. Like, the cops came and then they left, and then we just kind of kept partying like nothing happened. So after we all got out the bathroom, everything was kind of a blur. I don't even remember what really went down. I wasn't really doing anything too crazy, but I was super duper wasted. Beyond wasted. Like, I was beyond my limit, but I didn't even know what my fucking limit was because I never drank in my life. So I was super wasted. And I got to a point, I remember getting to a point where it was just out of control. So I think Jam kind of stuffed me in a tent. Like, they had tents out for people to sleep there who were drinking a lot and, you know, couldn't drive or whatever it was, because most of these people were driving. They were a lot older than us. So most of these people were driving, so she put out tents for everyone to stay in, and it was our plan to stay there. Because we told Penelope and stuff that we were going to stay, because obviously we couldn't go home drunk because we were like 15 years old. So we did stay in a tent, and I remember getting to the point where Jam just kind of stuffed me in the tent because I was acting so fucking nuts. So she put me in a tent, and I remember this like it was yesterday, and I'm still pissed at this bitch for this. She stuffed me in the tent, and I remember just telling her, like, I have to pee, I have to pee, I have to pee all night. And she thought I was just saying that just so I can get out the tent and, you know, go fuck around. But no, I really had to fucking pee. Like, I had to pee. The liquor was going through me. I had to go. She would not let me leave the tent. So I think I just fell asleep, and I just kind of was over it because I was done arguing with this bitch at this point. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna lay down, go to sleep. So I go to sleep, and then I wake up the next morning pissed. Like, completely just pissed my pants. The blankets that were in the tent were wet. My jeans were wet because I had jeans on. My jeans were soaked in piss. I just remember waking up, and I don't even think Jam was in the tent. I think she was outside the tent. I go outside the tent, and I'm like, Jam, I pissed myself. Like, you wouldn't let me go to the bathroom, so I peed on myself last night. And she's like laughing at me, and I'm like kind of mad because I'm like, you're laughing at me because I pissed myself when you're the reason I pissed myself, bitch. Like, what? So the other people that stayed in the tents were like coming out of the tents and like going home. And then I remember Jam told one of the girls that were super bitchy that I pissed myself, and she was like laughing and shit. And I'm just super mad because I'm like, bitch, I don't even like you for you to be laughing at me like that. I don't even like I didn't really fuck with her because she was just a fake ass bitch, like, for real. But I was super pissed, And then I was like, well, we gotta go home now because I need to take a shower, I need to change, and you need to go the fuck home because I'm pissed at you. So we get out the tent or whatever, like we were already out the tent, and we start like walking home because I literally lived like 3 blocks away from where Penelope had her party. So me and Jam were just gonna walk back to my house. So we got up and we start walking, and we're walking through like a graveled street or a graveled parking lot, which is where everyone parked for the party as well. And we were walking through there, and I just remember my stomach hurting so bad, and I'm like, Jam, I do not feel good. And then she's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I feel like I have to puke. And little did I know, I was about to puke everywhere. So we keep walking, and I'm like, dude, I can't. And then I just stopped, and I just like explosive vomited everywhere. It was like green, and it was gross. I threw up all over the gravel. You could see the green throw up everywhere. And I'm just like, oh my god, holy shit, like, let's go. Like, I threw up my guts. I think I threw up once, and then we walked a little bit more, and then I threw up again, and then I was fine. Then we walked to my house, and I took a shower, I got changed, whatever. Jam went home, because she needed to go home too. And she didn't live too far from me, but her parents came and got her, because usually she lived like across like highway / intersection kind of thing. And usually if we would walk there, I would go with her. But since she was going to be going home alone, her parents just came and picked her up from my house. So she went home, and I was like super stoked, like fuck yeah, I just partied my ass off, like I'm a grown-ass woman. Bitch, like I'm a grown-ass woman. I just got super wasted, and my mom doesn't know, and no one knows, and I didn't get caught, right? Now, around this time is when Twitter started to come to light, and people started to use Twitter. Twitter kind of basically just started. My mom had a Twitter, I had a Twitter, like I think my aunt had a Twitter, and they all followed me at the time because I wasn't too big on Twitter, like that to the point where I was like, no, family members don't fucking follow me. But I didn't really care because I didn't really use Twitter that much because we didn't have cell phones and stuff like social media and apps and stuff like that. So when I was on Twitter, I was usually just on my computer. And basically when I got home and I got dressed and stuff, I got on the computer and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so fucking hungover or something like that. Guys, I fucked up, like for real, because my mom saw my tweet, or my aunt saw my tweet, and she told my mom about it, and my mom saw it. Guys, I got in trouble, because my mom was like, were you drinking last night? And I'm like, no. I tried to lie, like, bitch, you tweeted, like, it's on the internet now, it ain't going nowhere. So I'm like trying to lie and like, no, I didn't drink or nothing. And my mom is like, yes, you fucking did, I saw your tweet, blah blah blah. And basically I got grounded. I couldn't go anywhere, I couldn't do anything. I didn't think I got in too much trouble. I think she took my computer, but I don't know, I don't remember. I think that's basically all that happened. That was a crazy fucking party, but it was really fun. I mean, I do have that memory like forever. Because that was basically my first like big party, and then after that it just kind of went downhill. I was always fucking partying. Guys, I have so many stories, like you don't even know. I was so crazy in high school, and I had the craziest fucking friends, and I just got into some crazy shit in high school. But yeah, that is it for this story time. I hope you guys did enjoy it. I hope you guys do like hearing these story times about my crazy ass past. I do have a lot more to tell you guys, so definitely just thumbs up this video so I know that you want to hear a lot more about my stories. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my videos. I post every single week. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll definitely see you guys in the next one.